Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling, as you see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where I'm recording pretty early in the morning, because I'm going to be busy later today. In fact, I'm probably going to be busy this morning as well. Yeah, I essentially just kind of like got up. Well, I mean, not literally just got up. I like brushed myself, I got dressed, and brushed my teeth, all that good stuff. It is a bit later than I wanted. I was probably going to do it around 7 or 8ish, but oh well. Good morning, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow it's 9:05. Xbox Game Pass apparently. On Saturday, May 24th, 2025. Yeah, essentially I'm going to do like a decent amount of baking. And I wanted to start at 8 because I was just like, okay, 4 hours is probably like okay-ish time. I don't think I necessarily need a full 4 hours. Because I'm baking things which I have baked before, so it's not going to be completely up in the air. And I don't think it would take me 4 hours to do so. Like brownies, I make, probably takes about half an hour to make, half an hour to bake. So about an hour in total. And I make some cupcakes, which I might add, might be another like hour or something, I don't know. To be honest, the exact details of that. Off the top of my head, it's been a very long time since I made any cupcakes. But I just kind of wanted to get a head start of it, just to make sure that it's all fine and dandy. But otherwise, it's just sort of like yeah, I don't know. Here we are. Well, we're getting a bit of a later start than usual. I mean, this is going to be a shorter episode than usual. It'll probably be like 12 minutes or something. But that's a-okay. Well, a-okay on my end. On your end, you might be like, no. So you probably can't hear me. I've turned away from my mic. But yeah, what should we talk about today? I'm not really sure, to be honest. Didn't really have anything in mind. We can talk about, I don't know, baking again, recipes which you haven't done for a while. That's a pretty niche topic, I'm not gonna lie. Like, even for me, come on. How does that even relate to anything? And you circle back to that? The answer is I don't know. You don't, I guess. Yeah, I mean, baking's a fun time. It's not exactly something. I mean, I think I spoke about it before. About like, I can bake amazingly. No, like, but just good enough. But I just don't bake particularly often. Mainly because I don't have a sweet tooth, so there's no point. Because I don't. If I bake, I'm like not gonna. It's not that I'm not gonna eat the food, but I'm probably not gonna enjoy it as much as the average person. But then if I, most of the time I end up baking for someone else or for a party or someone like that, because that makes more sense. You've got more. I mean, saying like more mouths to feed makes it sound a bit weird, but yeah. And I do remember I just started baking on like a complete random whim. I was just like, you know what? Let's start baking things. I was like, I want to try making some cookies. And they were okay, is what I remember. The first batch being, how okay? Just like fine enough, I guess. Ambiguous. I do. I think I vaguely remember. I think I were just like not exactly what I had in mind. I was like, I want like the soft sort of chewy cookie, chewy ooey gooey, and then they were like quite hard and crispy, and I was like, no. Never thought it was a particularly big deal, but I think they were still pretty good, to be honest. But yeah, I think that was like one of the first things I like baked by myself. How old was I when I did that? I don't remember. 11, maybe 12. I can't really imagine. I don't think I did that much baking at all in primary school. I don't know if I've ever really spoken about baking before, but yeah, there used to be something called cake days or something in school in one of our lessons, where basically one person on one of the Fridays or whatever would bring in cakes. I think this was during sixth form time. Yeah, so someone had to like bring in some sort of sweet treat was generally the idea. And I remember the first week I had it, I don't know, I just brought in some like store-bought brownies or something, like nothing particularly amazing. I do remember, like, thinking back on it, I really didn't bring in a lot, and I don't know why. I just brought in like one small pack, so effectively there wasn't a cake day. And then when I thought about it, like next time it was my time on rotate, I was like, that was stupid, let's not do that. So then I like went all out and like baked like a whole like platter of thing. Like, well, actually, I think I baked the cupcakes, which I'm gonna make today. These Oreo cupcakes, and then they were an absolute hit. And they were like, "Whoa, dear darling, you gotta do this more often." And I think I did it about twice more often or something. I can't remember how many rotations I ended up having. And another time I remember, I baked caramel cupcakes, and I remember they were like insanely sweet, like too sweet. Where I was like, this is like too much. And then the final one, I can't remember. And one other time I baked cut out cookies, but I didn't actually cut them out to any shape. I just made them squares and I dipped them in chocolate or something. I think I made millionaire. No, did I make millionaire shortbread too? Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I've definitely made millionaire shortbread in the past. Maybe I made Rocky Road. I don't know. There's a lot of times I remember making things, but I don't really remember what I made them for. I just have, not an expansive, but I just have like a solid recipe book on my phone on a nice app called Trello, which I used to use for other things, like organisation purposes, but then now don't really. Yeah. I spelled a good tagline, but wakey bakey for a thumbnail, sorry. That's why I paused to do so. But yeah, basically, once it's over, I'm just going to go start baking. I guess I'll make the brownies first, because the brownies are easier. Oh, but I should make the cupcakes first, because they need to cool for me to do the icing on. But I don't have the cupcake wrappers. See, that's the thing. So I wanted to make cupcakes, and then I was like, oh, I didn't actually buy the wrappers for it. But a friend is coming around, and we'll be doing some creation together. So he is hopefully bringing cupcake wrappers. You know what I think I'll do is I'll make the cupcake mixture. So as soon as he arrives, then I'll put the cupcake wrappers down, spoon out the cupcakes, and then we'll see. Excuse me. Yeah, I woke up later than usual today because we ended up playing Valorant at 4 a.m. for some reason. I don't know why. Because I was actually like, maybe I should go to sleep a little bit earlier today than usual. I was gonna sounds stupid, but I was gonna go to sleep at 2. And then my friend messaged me being like, hey, we need a fifth for some Valorant, are you down? And I was like, alright, I guess. Was I in top form? Probably not. I don't know. I feel like I spend too much time between playing Valorant and I never really get like warmed up again. So yeah. It's kind of a game you gotta stick with it, right? To get better at it. And I haven't really stuck with it, to be honest. It was also 2 to 4 a.m, which, while I say I do not need as much sleep as I think the average person to operate, I still get tired. I still probably like, this is probably too late for me to play Valorant of all things, but anyway, I'm pretty sure we lost every round. And I'm pretty sure they might have been on a big losing streak. So I think it was sort of going as like, keep going till you win situation. Stitch. So I don't blame him. I guess. Just is what it is. But yeah. What else should we talk about? I don't know, really. just baking in general. Do you have any tips? I don't know, just follow the recipe exactly. Baking's not an art, it's a science. Decorating in baking is not, you know, icing and all that good stuff. But otherwise, just follow the recipe exactly. Like, don't make shortcuts, don't make substitutions unless you know exactly what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, then just do recipe and boom, you'll be good. You'll be golden. Baking's easy, I think. A lot of people, you know, people like to. I don't want to say people go out of the way to praise my baking skills, but people, you know, do like good things I bake. But I think, like, honestly, baking is so easy that it's kind of hard to mess up. You know, you get a recipe, you just follow it exactly. I mean, it like. In my eyes, it tastes kind of sweet, which, you know, gets those dopamine receptors going. And people are like, this is amazing, this is the best thing ever. And I'm like, yeah, well, maybe not the best thing ever, but I'm glad you like it. It's so easy to make someone like it. You just make it taste nice. I guess the hard part might be actually finding a recipe and knowing if it's any good or not, or if it's what you want. And despite the fact I say baking is a science, not an art, you can do a bit of rounding, because actually the biggest thing about a recipe is that often you either get US measurements or you'll get imperial measurements or metric measurements, and depending on which country you're from, one might be more convenient, I suppose, for the batch sizes you make from the other. Just find like a recipe which matches the batch sizes you want. That's what I say. Don't need to be more complicated than that. Instead of using like 11/25 of like a butter stick in the UK, because when like a stick of butter in America is like 110-ish grams. Just like, you know, use a UK recipe, or just like scale everything up slightly. Use 125 grams, which is half a butter stick in the UK, that is. And it's not even necessarily UK versus US divide, because UK, for whatever reason, have a elective mix of both metric and imperial units for no apparent reason. Yeah, I don't know, just try it. Baking's easy, anyone can do it. Anyway, right now I'll go around this episode up here. I know it's a super short episode, but I need to go bake, I need to go get ready. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now it's our farewells. Until next time, bye bye for now.